Health is not a mere absence of disease. It's a dynamic expression of life in terms of how joyful you are, how enthusiastic you are. These are words of wisdom from the Master Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. So, hello and welcome everybody to this fourth episode of Sāmīpya. And in this episode, we want to explore all the beautiful, wonderful programs offered by the Art of Living Foundation. These programs which are offered to people across all backgrounds, across all demographics, across all ages and all cultures. We want to know what is the reason behind the popularity of these programs. ये programs करने से लोगों को फायदा क्या होता है और किन लोगों को करने चाहिए? What is the entire basis of these programs? We would like to explore a little bit of that today. And in this regard, we've got two very, very wonderful guests today with us. Our first guest is an exceedingly wonderful human being, a very, very knowledgeable person, very, very friendly person, a very strong administrator. And she is also the head of the Children's and Teens Desk based out of the International Ashram in Bangalore. Let us all welcome Mala Sundareshan ji.
Thank you, Hasan. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thanks for having me on this program.
How are you, dear? I hope you're having a good day today.
Absolutely fantastic and fabulous day.
I can't help noticing your big smile. It's so inspiring even looking at your smile. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah.
So Malaji, you are heading the entire Children's and Teens department from Bangalore Ashram, and I believe it's kind of pan-India. What you're heading is pan-India. Across India, you're looking at all the children and teen programs, right?
Yes, and I also take care of one of the programs, the Intuition process worldwide.
The Intuition program, and you take care of it worldwide. Wow,
yeah.
That sounds really, really awesome. Malaji, I want to know more about this children and teen programs and this Intuition programs, and what all do you offer and how does it benefit people? Can you please tell us a little bit?
Okay, when we look at children, we normally start at the age of 8. We have a program called the Utkarsha Yoga for children who are between 8 and 13 years of age. And then from 13 to 18-year-olds, we have this program called the Medha Yoga, wherein we have 2 levels in that. One is a beginner's level and then an advanced level. We also have some rural programs of the same, these 2 programs that I was talking about. And we also have some parenting workshops called the Know Your Child and Know Your Teen workshop. And as I informed you earlier, we also have this program called the Pragya Yoga, or the Intuition process for children between 5 and 18 years of age. These are the programs that we normally offer children and teens in India.
Wow. So what you said is you've got programs for children, but you've also got programs for the parents of the children. So yeah. I think what you've told us is both the sides need a little bit of understanding. Both the sides need a little bit of education on what good parenting is. And okay. The first question that came to my mind is you said there's a program from 8 to 13 and 13 to 18. Firstly, what difference do you see in the child between those 2 age groups?
When we look at a child between 8 to 13, their intellect is growing at a very rapid pace during that time. And Gurudev also speaks about how a child who crosses 13 and are into their teens, you see a lot of physical changes in terms of hormonal changes. They are emotionally understanding life around them. They are becoming very curious about things around them. So there is an emotional growth that is happening for teens between 13 to 18. So this is the primary difference that is there. And though the aspects of what we, talk about in the programs are more or less the same, it is addressed to and it is delivered in a very different way, wherein it makes sense to both age groups.
Wow. So, and you've got obviously different set of techniques or different set of knowledge points for the children belonging to different ages.
We have for the younger age group, it is more play oriented, more lighter in the sense that they are bubbling with enthusiasm, more activity based in the sense that physically they are doing a lot of stuff. And when we look at 13 to 18, yes, there is a lot of games, there's a lot of physical things that are happening, but there are also questions where we are, tapping into their curiosity, tapping into their understanding, making them see what could happen in the different walks of life and what they would like to choose. So this is how
Wow.
it is.
So what I understand is it is not necessarily an academic based program. I guess you're looking at different levels of development in the child. You are the right person to tell us. Please go ahead. Tell us how do these programs benefit a child? Go ahead, please.
It is academic also in the sense that whatever we are doing, ultimately the end result is a sharper intellect, better memory, better focus, concentration, an understanding of oneself, understanding that things around us are not going to change, but how we look at it, what perspectives we look at it, the options that are there for us, what can be done further, definitely can change by doing these programs. Many of the children have come back and shared that they have become calmer, they have become more intuitive, they are able to understand things better, they know something when they look at it. And there are some kids even who come and tell us, ma'am, now there is a smile on my face, you see. And
That's
that
great.
for me, I think, is the crux of this whole program, wherein we retain the smile on children and teens faces.
Wow, that's so beautiful to hear. You retain a smile on children's and teens their faces. Malaji, I think I'm what I'm looking at, and my question to you was when you said you need a sharper intellect and a better memory, better grasping power. My question is more about where does human values fit into all of this?
You see, the minute we talk about sharper intellect, sharper memory, or better memory or concentration, they are not the only things that guide us in life. What guides us, what takes us really forward is how I can be in a group of people, how I can, integrate myself into society. How do I interact with elders? How do I interact with people who are my same age? What kind of service do I want to do for others? The
Wow,
compassion, honesty, living life with a purpose. Now, these are things that are not there in any textbooks anywhere in the world.
exactly,
People tell
exactly.
you you need to handle your emotions, but they do not give you the tools to handle it. And this is one workshop where Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar has given us practical tools to understand and to, overcome the stresses so that we are clear in what we are thinking, what we are doing, and there is a lot more happiness and joy that is there in us.
Wow, that was brilliant to hear. That was really nice to hear. Great. I also understand that you have been a coach for the under 19 Karnataka girls cricket team. So, as a sports person, what do you think is the most important aspect of a child's development?
Hasan, I played for India, and all the while that I was playing for India, I was thinking, oh, next match, I should be the best. I should not be dropped. I was not looking at how the team can win, but the thought process in the back of the mind was I should make sure that my place in the team is still there. Now, that is something that held me back always because I was always looking behind. I was not looking forward. And now this program gives that understanding that what it is that I can do, how can I better myself rather than looking at what others are doing? How can I compete with myself? How can I be better than myself than what I was? And one of the biggest things that I would like to share with all my fellow sportsmen, and I'm sure many coaches will agree, is to play true to what your intuition is talking about, that flash that comes to you at that moment, and to listen to that and be in the moment. And you can be in the moment only when you are stress free, and that happens through the tools and techniques that are taught in the art of living programs.
Wow, brilliant, brilliant. Like you said, you've got courses for some courses for parents as well. My question here is, do you have feedback from the parents also about the children's programs? What feedback do you get from the parents about when the child undertakes one of these art of living programs for children?
A lot of parents come back with various things that they have observed in their children. See, we are there for 4 days or 6 days with the kids, or 3 days online programs with the kids, but parents are there more or less all the time. Especially now, they are 24 hours with their kids, and many of the parents have come back and told us that they can sit for longer times to study. They are able to grasp better. They're able to talk to people better. They are not so shy as they were before, or they are not so arrogant or violent as they were before. These are some of the experiences that parents have shared from courses like Utkarsh Yoga and Medha Yoga. And for intuition process, it's just magical, where they share that the children have become open to possibilities in the world. One of the biggest things of invention or anything new is being open to different things, the mind being flexible enough to say okay to anything. And we have heard that from our parents.
Wow, wow. So going a few sentences earlier, like you said that the parents report that the child has become more calmer and more relaxed. So my question to you is, how do you bring about that change? How do you relax a child? What processes, techniques, what do you do that calms a child down? What do you do over there?
Well, we have yoga, we have meditation, we have pranayama, and also we have Sudarshan Kriya, which is the core of this program, which is a simple breathing technique. Of course, it is different for adults and different for children and teens. This brings about a huge transformation in the lives of all of us, and that's why I am also here today. But especially in children, it removes the latent impressions that are there on a day-to-day level. So they are freer, they are joyful, and they see it with more clarity. And I think any volatile situation, when the mind is calmer, you find solutions for that. But when the mind is agitated from before, then the solutions are not calmer solutions. They are more aggressive solutions, which you will find. So I think this is how the programs benefit children. And we also have tenets or principles or sutras, what we call, for kids, which are taught to them in a very light and very process driven way, where they come up with answers as to how they can look at different situations in different ways.
Wow, very good. And also coming to this slightly mystical program that you spoke about, the Pragya Yoga, the intuition, it's very, very mystical. So you said like you have techniques based on breath and yoga, which calms the children down. But what is the technique that gives them intuition? I mean, that's a very mystical question. Can you please tell us, how do you increase the level of intuition in somebody?
I think when you are really connected in the moment, you are connected to this knowledge that is there in every atom, every particle around us. And the ability to download and to connect to it is what is the real essence. And doing the pranayams, the techniques, and the meditation and the pragya yoga process in itself, it strengthens that connect, and also it clears that connect. So there is no ambiguity, or there is no doubts in the mind. Whenever, I'm sure all of us have experienced some or the other intuitive thoughts in all our lives. Something tells you, oh, I should go left here, or I should go right here. Or when you're putting salt in your food, you don't measure it this many grams, you just put it like that. So intuition is there inbuilt, that higher knowledge is already there. It is just the connect that gets um, I wouldn't care. It's like a veil. When you remove the veil, the connect is good. Gurdev also explains it like the signal. Wherever there is the signal is strong, the connect is more. It's like the mobile signal. So this process increases their ability to be connected to this knowledge all around us.
Wow, so beautifully shared. I have personally seen videos and I've seen kids perform where they were blindfolded and they could read out of a book, they could read out of taking a note out of somebody else's pocket and reading the number over there and doing some phenomenal stuff, which is almost not, which cannot be explained scientifically. So it appears like a little bit bizarre, but then when you see it happening in front of your eyes, it surely stuns you. And what I can't get around is like, what is the technique that leads to what is the process, what is the technique, what leads to such intuition?
Yeah, there are some exercises which balances both the left and right side of the brain, and also there is this meditation which Gurudev has given, wherein as I said, the connect increases because you're more in the moment.
Wow. Okay, so it
It's
increases
also
the
a relaxation technique wherein they go into deep state of relaxation, which increases this intuitive abilities.
Wow. I think the key words that I've gathered from you is one, being more in the moment, and the second keyword I've got from you is relaxation, being relaxed and being in the moment. Great. Malaji, I really want to thank you for your sharing, but I'm still not done. I'm still not done with my questions. But at this point, I would also like to bring in our second guest, but I don't want you to go anywhere. I've got some questions still in store for you. So I'll be taking up some more questions with you in a short while. And over here, I want to bring in another guest, another very wonderful person to know, a very seasoned person who's also worked in the capacity of a PR relationship manager for a corporate firm, who's right now heading the National Teachers Coordination Desk from Bangalore Ashram, again, Pan India, and a wonderful friend of mine. Let us all welcome Rajeev Nambiar ji.
Thank you, Hasan. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Welcome. It's wonderful to have you on the show. How have you been?
Been wonderful, Hasan. It's good to hear from you. It's been a long time. We've known each other for a long time. Yeah, but it's good to connect back. It's good to connect back after so many years.
I guess thanks to this lockdown, we connect over Zoom and we connect over social media.
This is the new normal, I guess. This is the new normal. Yeah, because everybody seems to be meeting either on a Zoom or any other of those platforms only these days.
Exactly.
But at least the good part of it is in this period, at least that's an avenue that has opened for all of us.
Wow. Wonderful. So Rajeev ji, you being head of NTC, and your division generally does a lot of programs for the adults, right? So what are the signature courses for adults which you would recommend for everybody, and what are the benefits?
So the primary program that we have is the online meditation and breath workshop. It used to be called the online happiness program. It is now called the online meditation and breath workshop. Ever since this lockdown, we went into an online mode of program. I mean, we should really feel grateful that Gurudev has opened this this type of program to people online. I mean, it was something that was unimaginable a few months back, So I would recommend everybody to undergo this first program, the basic program called the online meditation and breath workshop. That basically has the crux of it being the 5 tenets of the art of living plus the Sudarshan Kriya.
Wow. And so what is the criteria?
Go ahead, sorry. Anybody who's 18 and above can take up the program, and till about any age, 18 to 80, everybody can take up this program. Okay. See, right now the world
the programs start from 18 years onwards. That's right. Yeah.
18 years onwards. Yeah. So we have several other programs which are packaged also. You have the Youth Empowerment and Skills program, which is basically a very university college program. Then we have certain program called the SELF program, which actually about more than 50,000 people undertook the SELF program last year. It is Student Excellence and Learning program. Then you have Productivity Enhancement program for the colleges. Recently, we had about 800 students from NIFT across all the NIFT undertaking the program also with us, which is a personality development program of the art of living.
Wow.
So yeah, we have a lot of programs for universities and institutions. which are curated to their requirements. And we have
Can you
seen that
tell
with
us?
this.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
We have seen with the SELF program, the outcome of the SELF program has been really wonderful. We have seen about 83% elevated energy levels in students. I mean, these are very documented programs because we have done a pre and post analysis of this. And we have found 76% decrease in stress levels. I mean, the sense of belongingness that increased in students was nearly to the tune of 78%. Huge drop in anxiety levels, huge boost in mental strength. All these things were very evidently seen as an outcome of these programs.
Wow, brilliant. That was a SELF. And I'm curious to know about the programs that you did for NIFT and what
So
was the name of that program?
For NIFT, it is called the Art of Living Personality Development Program for NIFT. Basically, it's a combination of the Art of Living program plus certain things of their fashion incorporated into that program. So it's a slightly extended program. It was a 7-day, 30 hours program. So we had, I mean, it is, this year was the first year when you had about 725 of their students actually undertaking the program. It was a part of the elective subject. So basically they get marks for this.
So if I can ask a more frank and honest question, do the children do it and do the students, do they do it and they really enjoy the program, or are they forced into it? Is it compulsion, or they actually feel grateful and thankful after the program? What is their reaction after the program?
So the experience is many of them join in because they find that this is an easier elective than the other electives that they have. They started off coming like that, but when they do the program, then they feel that I mean, I have had people say that I've never imagined that I was getting into something like this. You know, wow. And coming from students, okay, the first time when you gave an introductory talk, you have all sorts of comments on the comment box of your Zoom link. And then the same student, after 7 days of the program, is a completely transformed human being. Wow. You know, and they themselves come out and say that, I mean, we have never thought that we were going to experience something like that. It is like totally unimaginable for them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I have this question for both of you, for you and for Malaji. I would think, like, you know, teaching anything to children and students also has a element of challenge in it. It's because, like you said, they're not really open to these programs, and it's kind of not really it's not an academic program. It's a little bit different from what people do. And there's always an element of challenge teaching this program. So Malaji and you, both of you could give me different answers on what are the challenges and how do you overcome those challenges?
One thing, Hasan, I've learned lately is the youth of today are very receptive. You know, they are open to receiving new ideas, and the moment they find any value in it, they stick on to it. Wow. So they might be skeptical to begin with, but they are very receptive to it once they see value in it.
Okay, that's really something. It's a very nice observation. You can say that times are changing. The youth are really, really receptive. That's absolutely true. I'm also I'm curious to know about the children's program, which starts at the age of 8. So Malaji, Malaji. So you must be having challenges over there.
Yeah, one would think that children don't have, they don't concentrate, they don't learn. But what happens in these programs is they're having so many games, they're enjoying, and as they are playing, they're learning, they're implementing certain strategies into the game or into the process, which they learn from. So when you make it interesting, children and teens, they, as Rajeev was saying, it is absolutely true. They just don't like the rote method of learning, but learning in itself is something they're all looking forward to. And that to learning with a sense of belongingness, that's what they're looking forward to. And that happens in our programs.
Wow, very good. And well, I had this question about Pragya Yoga still. And it's a very, very simple and basic question. is there a precondition, pre-criteria to the Pragya Yoga?
No, any child between 5 and 18 years of age can do the program. There is no conditions at all attached to it.
Well, wow, awesome. I have seen some kids who've done the Pragya Yoga, and I can say that they do unbelievable stuff. They do such mind-boggling stuff. It really, really gets me thinking. It makes me wonder, why is it not open to adults? So Rajiv ji, can you answer that for us, please? Why is the Pragya Yoga not open to adults? Why is it only for kids in that particular age? Rajiv ji, are you with us?
I said Malaji has given away the answer earlier. As we grow up, we gather more and more impressions. And I think it solidifies with age, you know. So the chances of us getting into intuition are much more tougher as age goes by, because what it needs is to get into a state of total relaxation and natural state, you know. So probably that is the reason it is not very easily, I mean, it is not easily coming to adults. I'm sure there will be still some adults who will get into that. I mean, intuition per se, we all have it. Like Gurudev says, the seed of all knowing is there. It is just for us to just align with it, because there is nothing more to know. Everything that is to be known is there in this creation, you know.
Wow.
So
Wow,
it
awesome.
is just for us to catch it. Yeah.
Rajiv ji, you've spoken about programs that you conduct in universities and institutes and NIFT and all. What about the generic programs? I mean, people for programs for the general masses, or for working professionals, or for homemakers?
So the online meditation and breath workshop right now is across available to all people above 18 years. See, you know, right now, I mean, I feel that right now people need this more than anything else. The 4 or 5 or 6 months of lockdown has really been tough on a lot of people's minds. And what the Art of Living program does, and what the Sudarshan Kriya does to human beings is unbelievable. You know, how people are able to deal with situations just by practicing the Sudarshan Kriya is just for you to be see it to be believed, right? You know,
Yeah.
people have been able to come out of situations like they thought that they will never get out of. You know,
Yeah. Can you give us some examples that you've known closely? Any example, or any examples or anything you've known personally closely? You've
lot of
seen it.
people who have even on these NIFT programs or youth programs, what is very clearly seen is the youth are going through a lot of trauma, because they have very early in their lives, they have got into relationships, got out of relationship, they've got through too much of emotional trauma, and they do not know, they are not even ready to deal with the trauma. They don't even know how to deal with it. Now, once they come in to do the Yes Plus program, they come and meet with like-minded people, feel a sense of belongingness for people, then they're able to get rid of that situation, which I haven't seen otherwise. You know? So that is very evidently seen. Yeah. Because if you look at the kind of youth that has got attracted to the Art of Living, that is evidence of the fact that it is making an impact in their lives.
Wow, that's true. That's true. Rajiv ji, if I had to ask you, what is the single biggest change brought about by the teachers of the Art of Living? What would you say to that?
Teachers of the Art of Living has been instrumental in showing the world and showing people that they can smile through adversities.
Wow. So they've been like role models for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, during the toughest of times, they have been able to take people out of that situation and show them light, you know. So it is, of course, with Gurudev's blessings, but yeah, the teachers have been the torchbearers for sure.
Wow, really, really awesome.
Hasan, if I could add to what Rajiv was saying, if you look at CBSE today, which is the board for education in India, initially we had intelligent quotient, then we had EQ, the emotional quotient, then the spiritual quotient. Now they are thinking of an adversity quotient, you know. So I think that is the biggest contribution that many of our teachers have given to the world.
Wow. Can you tell us this about adversity quotient? I mean, this is something really, really new, and definitely it's a requirement. Just a few more lines on adversity quotient, please.
It is how we respond to adversities in life. It is how we respond to obstacles, difficulties, challenges that we face. You could look at it as a challenge, or you could look at it as a problem and ignore it, or you could say, oh, this is not an opportunity for me. But then if you are trained and not trained, if you were to look at it in the right frame of mind, then you will look at it as, oh, this is an opportunity for me to do it. Now, for example, Gurudev speaks about this lockdown. It's an opportunity for us to learn languages. It's an opportunity for us to live with our parents, spend more time, understand ourselves. It's an opportunity for us to detox ourselves in certain things. So this quotient is very, very important for any human being to succeed in life. Success comes, if you look at Rahul Dravid, who is perhaps one of the biggest cricketers. He has said that, for his success that he has received, 70% were failures, and he learned from them. And that is the greatness in any successful person. And that is the adversity quotient. How many times can you keep going back again and again and walking in that path that you have set for yourself?
Oh, very nice. Very well put. Very good example. Rajiv ji, the keywords that we got from Malaji was about, one was relaxation and being in the moment. What are the keywords for the adult programs? What are the key takeaways? What are the key outcomes of the adult programs?
The most important key, as I see it, is accepting people and situations as they are. The most of our stress in life is because we are unable to accept the situation as it is. The moment we are in we come to a state where we are able to accept a situation, then we are more in terms with reality, more in touch with reality. And that way we are able to deal with situations much better.
Wow, very nice. So one of the key takeaways is they're going into that acceptance mode, and then from that acceptance mode we are able to deal with that situation better, more pragmatically, more
acceptance is also a state of active acceptance. It is like, okay, if I find somebody who's too intimidating to me and I keep quiet, that is not acceptance. That is out of my inability to comprehend that situation. Acceptance is from a state of absolute active acceptance, knowing that this is how it is and I am absolutely comfortable with it.
Wow. Wow, wonderful. One question for both of you together. Any of you could answer this is, well, you are saying things like acceptance, you're saying things like relaxation, being in the moment, and being calmer. My question is, do we have any empirical evidence, any scientific data, any scientific research which can back all of this up? Either for the adult programs, either for the children programs.
We have had a lot of research conducted by various agencies, third-party research, and in universities and all that. We have had 69% of the people reporting decrease in their emotional problems. 23% of them have reported increase in their cognitive abilities after doing the Medha Yoga and the Utkarsh Yoga programs. We have 67% who have reported that there is decrease in hyperactivity, 30% reporting that there is increase in well-being. There's a lot of empirical evidence in all these scientific researches that have been conducted.
Wow, wonderful. So all these findings are backed by scientific research. So wow, that's really, really awesome.
There is one important thing that the youth program research that has come up with. Very interesting thing was 71% diminished in the guilt factor that they usually carry along with themselves. So that is such an important aspect. Sometimes the guilt becomes so burdening on them that they are not able to be natural at all. So the other research that we found is there is a 71% decrease in diminished in guilt factor.
Wow, wow, brilliant. Rajiv ji, when I did the program, the obvious question in my mind that came in my mind, and particularly after doing the Sudarshan Kriya, was, oh God, I should have done this many years back. That
I
was the
think
feeling
that
that
is
I
the
had.
I think that is the
So,
case with everybody who did the program.
so my question to you, Rajeev ji, is like, is there any one last message you'd want to give to all the youth out there about these programs? What would be your message to all those people who are still a little bit undecided, a little bit unsure, a little bit skeptical, and sitting on the fence or not aware, and they're not even able to make up their mind or feel the value for the program? What is your message to such people?
My only message is go out and experiment. If you don't see value in it, drop it.
Wow.
But go out and experiment once, because for youth they always want to experiment, and there is nothing more than this that I can see as worth experimenting.
Wow, brilliant. Very good. Very good. I hope all our viewers who are hearing this is a very, very strong and powerful message by Rajeev ji. What is, go out there and experiment it. Know for yourself. Know it firsthand. Brilliant. Don't keep yourself away from it because somebody told you this and somebody told you that. It's best that you experiment it firsthand. Of course, he's talking about the programs and the breathing techniques here, not everything included. So there's a disclaimer there. Malaji, my question to you, what is your message to all the parents of children who, for the children's program, like what is it that you'd want to tell them?
As parents, we want the best for our children. And the best for our children doesn't necessarily mean only best brands, best education, but it also means giving them best values. And who better for values than the art of living? Bring them to our programs, we'll enjoy, they will enjoy, and we can see how to work together.
How sweet was that? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So really, something for all our viewers over here to think and ponder upon over here is what, look, there are so many beauties that these programs can bring out, whether it's for children, whether it's for adults, whether it's for youth, for everybody. It's really, really brilliant. It's really, really beautiful. And I'd like to reiterate what Rajeev ji said. Experiment, do it firsthand. ये करके देखो तो शायद you can come back with questions. और मेरा personal guarantee ये है कि आप ये program करने के बाद you will feel, okay, so what's the next step from here? Where do I go next from here? Where do I go beyond this program? So great. Mala ji and Rajeev ji, big thank you to both of you for giving us your time, for coming onto this program, for sharing your views. It has been very, very brilliant. Thanks a lot, and we look forward to keep meeting you in person after the lockdown gets over.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for having me with you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.